Good morning, students. Today, our class is Social Science, and we will study a new chapter, chapter number 3, Indian Constitution. I am reading textbook. Let's start reading. Haley, Priyanshi, and Sachin are watching the final match of World Cup of 2011 on TV with parents. An exciting match is going on between India and Sri Lanka. Who will win the World Cup, India or Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka had put up a challenge target for India to achieve, but with the fearless batting of Indian captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni, India won the World Cup. Everyone was rejoicing in victory. Haley said to her mother while watching TV, Mummy, the previous match between England and India resulted in a tie. What does that mean? Nitaben said, Haley, for a popular game like cricket, the ICC has systematically formed rules. Tie in a match means that both the teams have an equal score. Even the games like football, hockey, kabaddi, etc. have their own set of rules. If a game has so many rules, then to run the administration of a populous nation, we surely require well framed rule. Here in your textbook, the preamble of our constitution is given that I am reading. We people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign socialistic, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promise among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. So, here, this is the preamble means beginning. From the beginning of the Constitution, it is written. A systematic completion of set of rules to run the government of a country is known as the constitution of the country. Constitution can be in written or unwritten form. Our constitution starts with the preamble. Next page go. How was the constitution of India formed? The Constitution of India is the statement of national goals and aims such as democracy, socialism, secularism, national unity, etc. The Constituent Assembly was established. It started working from 9th December 1946. The Constituent Assembly was formed of prominent and distinguished scholars and leaders. Their political vision was foresight was incorporated in the constitution. Leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Shama Prasad Mukherjee, Sardar Baldev Singh, etc., provided their guidance. Frank Anthony represented the Anglo Indian community and H.P. Modi represented the Parsi community. The committee had various constitution scholars like Aladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, K. M. Munshi, etc. There were female members like Sarojini Naidu, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the President of the Constituent Assembly. There were a member of subcommittee to take care of various aspects of the constitution. The drafting committee, which was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, gave to the constitution its final shape. Total 166 meetings were held by the Constituent Assembly in a time period of 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. On 26th November 1949, the committee passed the constitution, which was enforced on 26 January 1950. In your book, you can see the pictures of Maulana Azad, B.R. Ambedkar, Rajendra Prasad, Sarojini Naidu, and Kanhaiya Lal Munshi, the creators of constitution. Why do we need a constitution? Very important uh, part of this book. Why we need constitution? What if there is no constitution? No country can function without a constitution. A constitution serves many objectives. It is a document which finally waves the ethos and ideas of our country. It tells about the kind of government of our country would have, how to run the administration of our country. In a democratic form of government, we elect our leaders so that we can run the administration on our behalf. However, there are provisions in the constitution to check the misuse of power of the leaders. Here, silent features of our constitution. Democratic rule. India has adopted the democratic system of government. General elections are held in our country every 5 years. Citizens above the age of 18 are eligible to cast their vote. We cannot imagine democracy without elections. People all over the country play their role in electing their representative. Any voter of the country can contest an election irrespective of his or her religion, caste, class, or gender. The elected representative rule for 5 years. Every citizen enjoys the freedom to follow religion on his or her idea or choice, as well as freedom of speech, expressions, and thoughts. Secularism. A secular nation means that the government does not conform to the norms of any particular religion in its system of government. Citizens are not discriminated on the basis of their faith, sect, or religion. Every citizen enjoys the right to follow the propagate the religions of his or her choice. Now, next page, republic. Republic means a government that obtains power from the people directly or indirectly. We have adopted a democratic republic system of government, which means that powers are not limited in the hands of few privileged people. Rather, it is accessible to all the citizens irrespective of their caste, class, religion, or gender. So, here today, uh, um, up to here, I will read, and next class we will read. Very few lines are there. Okay, now we will read things to know. Any common people, woman, to be it a hawker or vegetable vendor, can become the sarpanch of a village. For example, a mason Manjibhai contested election of legislative assembly and became the member of legislative assembly or MLA. Here you can see central government, president, then after legislature, executive, judiciary, legislature have one more part, parliament, then Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, executive, then after prime minister, then after council of minister, judiciary, after Supreme Court. State government, you can see the diagram: government, legislature, executive, chief ministers and council of ministers, and judiciary, high court. Legislature, state government, legislative assembly or Vidhan Sabha or Vidhan Parishad. After governor, chief minister and council minister, local administrations. Local administration divided into two parts: panchayat and municipal corporation or municipal boards. Judiciary, uh, three parts: high court, district court and subordinate court. Now, functions of the government. Legislature, executive, and judiciary are the organs of the government. Legislature makes laws, executive, with the help of civil service officers, implement the laws, and judiciary makes people follow the law and does the work of providing justice. Now we will study federal state. India is a federal state. There is a distribution of subject on which the central or the state government can frame laws. There are three such lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. Laws framed by the central government are applicable to the entire nation. Fundamental rights. Fundamental rights of Indian citizens are provided by the Constitution of India that was adopted on the 26th November in the year 1949 but was put in use on the 26th January 1950. Fundamental rights of citizens guaranteed that the resident of the land can lead a peaceful life as long as they inhabit the country. The individual fundamental rights of Indian citizens are most of the time similar in all the democratic countries. The individual fundamental rights to Indian citizens include the following: number 1, equality before the law; number 2, freedom of religion; number 3, freedom of association and peaceful assembly; number 4, freedom of speech and expression; and number 5, right to constitution remedies for the protective of civil rights. So here your third chapter is completed. So I hope you will read at least two times to understand. Okay, see you in next class. Thank you.